Hello everyone, I am back coming to you with Weekly Mutation number 15, and that is Out of Order. Electromagnetic interference is wreaking havoc on your communications. Giving orders to your army can prove costly, so make every action count. Intel is limited and vision is obscured, and even the simplest task could take a while to complete. Get through it and save the planet. This weekly mutation is on the co-op mission The Vermilion Problem, and there are 3 mutations to go along with it. The first one being microtransactions, and that is giving commands to your units cost resources based on the unit's cost. The second one is darkness. We've had this one before. Previously explored areas remain blacked out on the minimap while outside of player vision. And the third one is time warp. Enemy time warps are periodically deployed throughout the map. And we've also had that one before. And once again, all the bonus experiences are the same. As you can see, you can get a total of 185,000 total bonus experience if properly completed on the hardest difficulty. And we're going to be playing with Swann on this playthrough. Now, I have tried this mission once, and I was playing with New Navy actually the previous time, and we lost within the first couple minutes just because we weren't prepared. But this is my second time through, and we were able to beat it. Just got to use a little teamwork, and everything will work out pretty darn well. Now, I will warn you, if you're playing with Kerrigan, you will have to it is kind of expensive for every click that you use with Kerrigan. So she costs 5 minerals and 5 gas every single time you move her. Just a warning to you, if if you weren't expecting that, it's going to be a little bit of a surprise. Every single SCV costs 2 minerals to move, and I believe my teammate told me that drones only cost 1 mineral. I could be wrong on that because that's just what I was told. But anyway, I'm going to be playing like normal as I do with Swann. I'm going to be getting my refineries up as soon as I can. And I'm partially doing this because I'm trying to get an achievement for Swann, and that's to collect 100,000 Vespine gas. That's the last co-op commander achievement I need to get. Until the new commander comes out, that is, which will be awesome. But in the meantime, I am going to be trying to collect as much Vespine gas as possible. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try and mass up a bunch of Goliaths, and then when I have enough minerals and gas, I'm going to start building science vessels. And then as soon as every single refinery is built, I'm going to drop a drone on that refinery, if I'm paying attention well enough. And then you want to try to get your expansions as soon as you can, but the expansions aren't that easy to hold on this co-op mission, because this is probably one of the hardest co-op missions that we have right now. And when you are expanding, that is, big waves will come and surprise you while you're trying to get those xenon crystals. And when you're trying to get those crystals, you know, all of your units, or likely almost all of your units, are defending your SCVs. But if they aren't, that's good. Because these massive waves that come at your base will completely wipe you out if you're not ready. I really encourage you guys, if you're playing as Swann, to upgrade your laser drill level 2 and level 3 right away, because you get that pulse cannon. That one's the best one. You get concentrated beam. That's from level 2, and that's you do 400 damage in a straight line across the entire map. And then level 3 is you do 600 damage, but just in a selected area. And that one's the best. It's pretty much like a nuke that drops in really fast, and you're pretty much going to clear out everything that's attacking you. It doesn't matter what the unit is, it's generally going to die from that pulse cannon. I don't know if it can kill Ultralists or not, but basically everything else will die, especially on this map, because we got a pretty heavy Zerg force with not a whole lot of Ultras in it, but it's got a lot of air units, like Broodlords and Mutalisks. And then all the rest of the units are Zerglings and Banelings, so those all just melt away with 600 damage hit at them, even if they have armor upgrades. So it wasn't a problem here. And then you do want to be able to handle these beginning waves. Likely you will have your Ares cooldown in time to take on this first wave, but if your teammate's Kerrigan, they will definitely have Kerrigan, unless they don't have the upgraded cooldown for Kerrigan, but they'll likely have Kerrigan out before these oncoming enemy wave comes, the first one that is. If not, drop down your Ares and you should be fine. And as you can see, I've already got those drones on the 2 refineries that I have, and I'm pretty sure I already got the drones on my teammates' extractors. Might be wrong on that one, but I think we will be doing fine. And as soon as I can, I'm going to get this advanced optics upgrade, and then the regenerative biosteel. So advanced optics upgrades the range of all your vehicles and ships by 1, and then regenerative biosteel allows you to automatically your vehicles, like my Goliath, to automatically heal themselves over time. It may not be that fast, but it's pretty darn good to have, you know, if you don't want to have to carry your SCVs around with your armies the whole time. And then I'm going to try to get my 1-1 upgrades, the attack upgrades and the armor upgrades for my vehicles, vehicle and ships attack upgrades, that is, as soon as I can. And you want to get your 3-3 upgrades very soon, just because, you know, the higher the upgrades there, the longer your units are going to stay alive. And like I said before, I'm just going to kind of camp with my units for now, except for my Ares, because I want to try and mass up just to this big army and just use the attack command every now and then with them, rather than constantly trying to micro my units. And you can play, you know, effectively with micro, definitely. Microing is way better than using the attack command, but because it costs 2 minerals and 2 gas for each of my Goliaths to move, as you can see, I'm just melting away my resources right now. It's very, very bad. I am definitely hurting myself. So I lost all of my Goliaths except for one of them, and now I have to pull off all my SCVs to attack command the rest of these Zerglings. It was pretty poor play on my part, but that is okay because I will have another Goliath coming out, and I will clean up the rest of these Zerglings in time, and it will be fine. But it does kind of stink. And I was kind of getting carried at the beginning of this mission because my teammate was pretty much walking around with Kerrigan, not Zagara, but walking around with Kerrigan, and then he was on top of everything, bringing in those drones right away to pick up those xenon crystals before I was even doing anything. Towards the end here, I will start to pick up my gameplay, which will be good, and no one likes to be no one likes carrying the team. I mean, maybe you do. That's not me. I don't like being carried by my teammate because I feel like a noob. And you know what? I am kind of a noob. I'll admit that. Compared to some players that have 300 APM in multiplayer, I'm definitely a noob compared to those guys. The hardest part about this weekly mutation is finding these xenon crystals, actually, because of the blackout. I actually think, you know, the cost for minerals and gas to actually move your unit sucks, but I think the blackout's worse because if you don't find those xenon crystals in time, I mean, there's nothing you can do. Like, you can't remember where they are because the vision just goes away because everything's blacked out. So, I mean, you know what I mean? So, if you had the vision, I believe generally on the Vermilion problem, if you already explored a place, the map lets you know where the xenon crystals pop up if you have vision of that location or had vision at one time. But if your vision is blacked out on the minimap, the map does not notify you of where these xenon crystals pop up. So you have to actually manually move your unit around the map until you find that xenon crystal. So pay attention to that. And the good thing that my teammate does is my teammate moves around with Kerrigan, and he'll eventually build a bunch of Hydralisks and just mass up this army, and he starts clearing out every single section of the map looking for these crystals. But the good thing, the main thing that he's doing that's good, even if the crystals aren't at this location that he's clearing out, is he's clearing out this location for later. So if we need to go explore for these xenon crystals, we'll be able to find them right away. We can just explore with a single unit in that area because there won't be anything to kill that unit later. So definitely, even if there's no crystals in that area, continue to clear out that area. It's going to benefit you in the long run a lot better than not doing it. And yeah, just keep up that. And keep massing up your units. I'm going to finally try to expand here. I've got quite a surplus of minerals. And when these waves come in to attack your base, make sure to take out the overlords first, because I mean, if you take out those overlords, they're not going to drop any units in, because they can hold about eight single units by themselves, and then, you know, it reduces from there if they have double units, like units that cost 2 or 3 space. But yeah, take out those overlords before they can drop in those units. It'll just save you a lot of time and resources if you can kill those overlords really quick. Unfortunately, I didn't have that many Goliaths, so I wasn't able to, take out all those overlords in time, and I lost quite a few of my own Goliaths. I still have 5 left, so that's okay, but not exactly what we want. An ideal situation would be if I had about, 20 Goliaths right now, like 10 to defend my expansion, 10 to defend the home base. I take that back. It'd be better to actually have about 30 Goliaths, 20 to attack with my teammate so I'm not getting carried by him, and then another 10 to defend my base. That'd probably be better. And if you're picking up these resources that Kerrigan drops for you with her aura assimilation ability, it's definitely a good thing to only use one unit, like your SCV, to collect the resources at a time. Because, if you use a bunch of units to collect the resources, it's kind of defeating the purpose of using that aura assimilation ability in the first place because of this mutation. Got to be careful about what you're doing. Later on in this mission, I just make mistakes every now and then. I move my entire army and just like hundreds of minerals and Vespene gas just burn away in seconds. It's terrible. So you just got to be so careful of that. And don't move your SCVs into that lava. Hello. I didn't do that on this playthrough, but how many times I've done that? It's ridiculous. You'll gather these crystals, and your SCVs or drones or probes will automatically start moving back to the main objective location where they return the crystal to. That structure, I can't remember exactly what it's called, but yeah, this little circle right here, they automatically start walking back to that circle as soon as you pick up those crystals. So you want to make sure to, stop them if the lava is going to spawn. I think they fixed this glitch in one of the past updates to the game. I'm not sure if they did, but I'm pretty sure they did. Basically, what would happen is if you bring your SCV into that lava by accident, and your SCV drops the lava, Yeah, exactly. You pick up lava. That's the main objective of this mission, is to pick up lava, everyone. So if you pick up those crystals and you walk into the lava by accident, then as soon as your SCV goes in that lava, the crystal's gone. It just disappears. And I'm pretty sure they patched it so if you do accidentally do that, you don't have to go find a different crystal on the map. I believe the crystal doesn't just respawn somewhere. It just drops exactly where your SCV died. I could be wrong on this, but I mean, let me know in the comments. I'd definitely love to know. But I'm almost positive that they made a patch specifically for that reason, or not just specifically for that, but they specifically talked about that one little problem where people would accidentally walk their SCVs into the lava, and then the crystal would just disappear. So I don't think that's the way it is anymore, which is good. But it might be. And then this is kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm walking out with about 3 SCVs and then just 6 Goliaths. That's it. And I'm trying to clear out one of these areas. And I would, like I said before, I would advise you guys do this, because the sooner you clear out these areas, the better. Whether or not there's a Xenon crystal there, it's just going to help you out a lot in the end game when you are running low on time and you need to find those crystals. And being able to move around your units freely without running into enemy units is going to save you time and resources, and the game. So it works out quite well. Now things are starting to run pretty smoothly. I've got drones on pretty much all of our refineries and extractors, and we've got almost a full supply line of, a full mineral line of SCVs, and my teammate also has pretty much all of his resources covered as well, along with that aura assimilation, which is extremely helpful. So we're sitting pretty good, and then as soon as I got all of my SCVs on that supply line, an enemy wave came and just obliterated my expansion. It was just like, oh, everything's going well, this is great, and then bam, that ended. And I apologize if you guys hear any Cat's in the background. I do have a cat, and that cat may meow or purr eventually. So my apologies if that happens. Now we have a hybrid right here. I would definitely advise focusing down those hybrids. I mean, that's obvious, but some people don't realize that, so I'll just point that out. You know, those hybrids, they have a lot of abilities. For example, Psystorm, I believe, that one specifically that we just killed, that one had Psystorm, and you want to kill those right away because they'll do splash damage to your units and end up finishing you off. Yeah, finishing off a lot of your units really quickly because of that area damage. So finish off hybrids as soon as you can, and they're just really strong units. So yeah, I mean, you want to do what you can to get rid of them. And then I'm trying to rebuild my refinery right away again because I don't want. I mean, I want as much Vespene gas as I can get. One, for that achievement, and two, I just don't want to run out of Vespene gas because it's kind of hard to build units if you don't have resources, especially these Goliaths. I mean, I do have less minerals than Vespene gas right now, but as soon as you start building high-cost Vespene units, like these science vessels that I'm going to build soon here, then you're going to run out of Vespene gas before you know it. These science vessels cost 100 minerals and 200 Vespene gas, so it's kind of ridiculous. Now we have about, let's see here, 1, 2, I'd say one of the areas we don't even have spotted right now, but 3, 4, I'd say we have about, 3 or 4 of the locations where these xenon crystals can spawn cleared out right now. And that's pretty good, but still we have quite a bit of work to do, because even though we cleared out those close areas to us, the final areas are a bit more difficult to clear out because they have a lot more sitting static units defending the hives and layers at those locations. But it's good that my teammate knows what he's doing, and he's moving forward with all these Hydras and Kerrigan right now, clearing out this bottom area. This bottom area is where the Molten Salamander will spawn, if you guys don't know that. And it'll actually be pretty beneficial to, take that out if you have a chance. It only does give you about 2,000 or 4,000 bonus experience, but, I mean, if you have the time, like I was saying, right now there's about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left on ours, and that's actually quite a bit of time. It'll run out fast if you don't have those, xenon crystals ready, but I would say we're sitting in a pretty comfortable position. And later on in this mutation, just because I'm looking for the crystals, I happen to come across a salamander at the same time, and I just take it out really quick. If you have enough Goliaths and science vessels, you probably won't even lose any of your units because your units will get repaired so fast that it doesn't actually matter. I make a little bit of a mistake here with my concentrated beam. I pretty much waste that. I used it on only 3 of those corruptors, which was a big mistake. I should have used it on the force that was attacking my teammate because there was a lot more, many more units there. I just didn't want to lose my expansion again. So I got a little flustered, and I moved my. I made a mistake. I made an action too fast. Should have just saved that concentrated beam. But it doesn't matter because we are sitting pretty comfortably still. And I'm sending out this SCV again because now I'm getting kind of worried. I'm thinking, along with my teammate, we're wondering where are the crystals, and we're at 13 out of 20, so there's still 7 more crystals we have to find. And I was a little bit more comfortable about a minute and a half ago with those 4 minutes 10 seconds on the clock, but now that we're at 2 minutes and 47 seconds, it's getting a little bit more dangerous. Luckily, my teammate just spotted another crystal, and thank goodness 2 more crystals just spawned on the map where my teammate had his Omega Worm. And since that Omega Worm was there, we had vision, and the minimap notified us of where those Xenon crystals were. So I'm going to go down there with a couple SCVs, and what happened was even better than I thought. Was the Xenon crystals, I only saw 2 of them on the minimap, but it's actually going to end up being 3 here. And that's really, really good because, now we will have 14, 15, 16. Oh, I lied. There was actually 4 here. That worked out really well for us. So, yeah, now we'll be at 17 crystals out of 20. And there were actually, if you guys saw it on the minimap, there were actually 2 more Xenon crystals where my teammate had his units at, but his teammates accidentally died because of this enemy wave that came. He wasn't paying attention, and then we lost all of those. He lost his army. So we were sitting in a little bit scary position. Luckily, we did have 4 Xenon crystals come in, though. I mean, it could have been worse. We could have not had any Xenon crystals and been at 1 minute 30 seconds with my teammate losing his entire army. Luckily, that wasn't the case. We are going to get all these crystals in and be sitting at about 6 minutes of time. And I have a pretty decent sized army right now, and I will have science vessels pretty quick here too to help benefit that. As you can see, I'm getting fire suppression, high secondary auto turrets, or high sec auto turrets, I believe that upgrade was called, and then I'm going to get the other one later. But basically those upgrades from the engineering bay upgrade the armor of structures, turrets, turrets range, let's see, what else can it upgrade? Fire extinguishing abilities. If your structures get to hit point level where they are taking too much damage and they start on fire, then they'll automatically repair themselves up to 50% and it'll put out the fire. And then I believe the last upgrade, well shoot, I don't remember what the last upgrade does. Can't remember what the last upgrade does. That's in the engineering bay, but I believe it's another turret upgrade for your anti-air turrets. That's my guess. But you don't really need to get those upgrades from the engineering bay. It's just I had the minerals and I had those upgrades there. So I was like, well, might as well throw them in because I have a couple of turrets on the map. And if my expansion gets attacked again, I want my command center to be a little more tough with that extra armor upgrade. So that's why I got it. You guys don't need to waste your minerals and Vespene gas on it if you don't want to. And I was pretty darn comfortable at this point because we had 17 out of 20 crystals. And there were 2 crystals sitting down by my teammate right now. He's got his drones on the way down there, but I'm starting to bring some of my units down there as well. And there was, you know, he's got 2 Xenon crystals right next to his units right there. And I didn't actually realize, I'm realizing this now, that there was another Xenon crystal over to the right or the east of this mini-map. But I didn't notice that at the time, so I'm still kind of curious, and I'm searching around the map, and I say we need 1 more. So I start moving one of my science vessels at a time around the mini-map just to kind of help search for me and my teammate. But like I said, it would have been so much better if we just moved our units to the right, because there was just 1 more Xenon crystal so close to our units. It was actually in the same section as all of our Goliaths and Hydralisks are right now. But I didn't notice that, neither did my teammate. So that's kind of a bummer. And then, as you can see at the expansion, my teammate at this point just completely gave up on expanding. He realized we were close to victory and he just wanted to jump straight for it. But I wouldn't necessarily just give up on your expansion. I mean, if you're this close, you kind of think, why not? But things like this right here can happen. Big waves of enemies will pop up out of nowhere. And, you know, if you're not paying attention, you can lose your entire army. And then be 1 crystal away and lose the entire mission. So I'd go for security over just sacrificing everything for the final end. And something I just noticed here, I'm trying to get improved nano repair. That improves the repair of your science vessels, and it doesn't cost energy, your science vessel's energy anymore to actually repair your units. So I would definitely get that upgrade. But aside from that, yeah, go for your security at these expansions. My teammate gave up on trying to get this last expansion, so I just built refineries at his expansion, and I threw down drones on those refineries because, once again, I wanted to get that achievement for Swann. And because I could, like I said, there's another enemy wave coming up out of nowhere, but because I could, I dropped that pulse cannon on top of those enemy units and finished those off instantly pretty much, and it worked out well. And I was scouting with this science vessel, and I ran into a bunch of units that are going to end up killing my science vessel, so that kind of sucked. But before this guy dies, I am going to end up scouting the final Xenon crystal that I want. Oh, so I guess my science vessel didn't die. It actually survived. It's just floating over the lava. And as you can see, we just killed the Molten Salamander. It took me under 10 seconds to kill that thing. And there, now my science vessel died, but I did spot the final Xenon crystal, and we're going to go straight for that right away. Enemy wave is going to come at us. I'm going to use my concentrated beam ability and kill one Zergling with it. As you can see, the concentrated beam ability can be so good, but it can also be so bad. It takes a second to drop, and those units can move out of the beam location right away. And now we're going to guard this final crystal with everything we've got. You're one crystal away, you're going to throw everything at defending that crystal. Nothing else matters, just defend the crystal. And, you know, like I said, go for security, but at this point, we now have the final crystal. If you didn't have the final crystal, I would say keep on trying to build your expansions up. But because we have this crystal, now everything's for defending that final drone that's carrying that crystal right now. Everything you got. Even carry extra SCVs around that drone, just in case. You never know if an enemy force is going to spawn up out of nowhere and just finish you off. So, defend that drone with your unit's lives. Yeah, no vision, protected at all costs, my teammates is saying. New Navy. And there was another lava surge coming, and this could have finished us off as well, but my teammate's going to make it just in time. And another enemy wave spawned, but we made it. So, good game, my teammates. Hopefully this was extremely helpful for you guys, or at least a little bit helpful. I don't know if it'll be extremely helpful to some of you, because some of you are very, very good at this game, even better than myself. But I hope you enjoyed this playthrough, and let me know any of your guys' strategies. I found Swann to be absolutely awesome, and I finally have Overwatch, everyone, so I'm going to start posting Overwatch gameplay videos. If you're interested in that, please stop by those videos and watch them when I start posting them. So, thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next video.